So you were talking about unemployment in the 80s and how there was basically no unemployment in the 80s.
Pretty close.
So
Like what I was saying earlier is that unemployment today is 7.9%. That's whatever the percentage is, hundreds of thousands of people out of work. By 1985, 1986, unemployment was at 2%, which is unheard of. It means almost everybody was working. The only ones that weren't working are the ones that didn't want to work. And it was just ridiculous because I remember I was managing a store back then. It was ridiculous to find somebody to hire to look for work because you had to raise your rates to try and compete with everybody else. You had to do anything and everything you could to get people to work for you because there just was no one out there.
So it wasn't even close to like an economic crisis like it is today.
No, not at all.
Pretty much the best it's ever been.
Yep.
And did you go to college?
I just went to community college. I didn't go to full college. Back then, again, the culture was a little bit different. College was set aside for people, you want to say it cliche, people of privilege, versus, the average family was more focused on when you get out of school, you find a job, you start taking care of yourself. And that, 30 years later, now it's you go to school, you keep going to school until you can better yourself and get an MBA or a bachelor's or an associate's or whatever it is, but you have to go to college. And just the thought process was different back then.
Do you think there's anything flawed with the way we're thinking about it, our generation?
Who's to say? Because back then, if you went to college, it was almost a guarantee that you were going to go straight into a field. Again, because of the economy and the way unemployment was. If you went to any college back then, in any field, you were going to go directly into that field and life was good. Also, colleges back then were $15,000, $20,000. Those were Ivy Leagues. Now they're $40,000, $50,000, even $80,000. And the problem is now you've got 7-8% unemployment. So a lot of those people that are getting out of college, which are a lot more people now, there's still not enough jobs for those people. So those people that are coming out with the impression that they're going to have an Ivy League career end up, doing pretty much what everybody else is doing, just trying to find a job to survive. The difference is the debt is different. Some of these kids coming out of college today, they literally have mortgage-sized debt. That never happened before.
So any last thoughts about the decade? Or?
A lot of people will look back and say it was the me decade. That's the terminology of it. It was because we were in a position to be able to say that. Ever since the 1950s, the United States really wasn't in the position, and even today is not in the position to be able to say that, I don't think. I think it really established or reestablished the United States as the driving force for economics in the entire world. And with one leader, one attitude, and that me decade helped us get to be where we are today.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming.
Thank you for coming.
All right, bye.